Welcome everybody, thanks for coming. Obviously if you've got some background noise, just pop yourself on mute, and then if you want to ask anything, just unmute yourself. Today we've got Mike, who came to talk to us actually in August 2020 about digital techniques and the customer journey, and making it a nice experience for the customers in the shop using digital technology. So he's back again because he has a course that he's going to do. So he's going to talk to us about what that entails. And yes, welcome, Mike, and over to you. Tell us all about it.
Well, thanks again for giving me the opportunity, to talk again. So at least last time it wasn't that bad. So anyway. Well, first of all, for those who don't know me, just give a small presentation. So I'm Mike, and I am an 8th generation florist. So we've had our shop here in Madrid open since 1930. So it's a very traditional shop where we've had to really push to give it a different way of looking at things. And the web was really one of those best ways. And, it's nothing that happened yesterday. We've been working on this for the past probably 12 years. And in between that, I've also been part of the International Florist organization. And I've really been able to see what the problems were with online. And so we're giving this course because what happened was I thought, okay, COVID, forget it, because everybody's going to have their webs, their shops, going, and they're going to say, oh, this is amazing. I said, I think this isn't the time to be able to do this course. But now that things have sort of calmed down, and a lot of people are thinking, where has this all gone? Where's all this, web stuff things gone? So one of the things is that thanks to COVID is most florists now have a website. And that's really the why of what this course is really being put forward, is now that we all have websites, it's really how do we get the best out of it? And what I really want to do in this course is, as a florist, what happens is, you don't have the time to be looking into what are the best ways. There's 10,000 different things that you see on the web, on Instagram, on Facebook, what's the best here, there. And at the end, you're just thinking, oh my goodness, I got to do so many things, and what actually works? And that's what I really want to do in this course, is what actually works as a website and a web shop. We have about 40% of our turnover is now on our website, so directly from, and the other 20 to 30% is people who call. And so I can say that, we've been doing things correctly. And what this course really wants to do is break the how to do things and why we need to do things. I think that's, why we need to be on the web and why we need to sell and how to do that. And I think that one of the most important aspects in the course that we're going to do actually is probably one of the worst enemies for flower shops, which is unfortunately data. Now, I've already gotten, clients, and about 4 or 5 clients. And whenever I ask them, I need to have access to your Google Analytics, Google Search Console, they don't have it, or it's just badly configured. And so what I really want to go into this course is, why do we need to look at the data to actually, A, have a good website, and B, how to grow? And so that's what we're really going to start looking at, is from the outset, how are we going to create a website that works through data, through experience, and also why we need to be looking at it to grow. So that's for the main part, because now that I've seen how this all works and what is actually in the market, it's sort of, okay, well, let's start. We need to do baby steps here. And this is what we're going to show you in the course. Now, what we want to do is, there's various parts to why you need, how to get a good website going. And what you need to understand is traffic. Why do you need to understand, traffic? It's going to be the first point. Traffic is probably the most important part of any business, be it walk-in or being digital. And a lot of people think to themselves, and I'm sure a lot of people here probably think that, oh, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Instagram. Why do you need to be on Facebook? Why do you need to be on Instagram? When in fact, Instagram and Facebook and social media, funnily enough, it's the worst converting traffic there is for e-commerces. It's not just me who says it. One of the participants or the speakers who will actually be in the course as well, they are part of the LVMH group. So it's Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, so Dior, Bulgari, Tiffany's, all those big, they all share the same information. And they all concur that it's the worst place to be to get sales. Why is that? We'll go over in the course, but the best one is Google. And so what we really want to go is how to understand Google and how do you want to convert that traffic coming in instead of putting all your focus on something that doesn't work. So that's what we're going to be looking in traffic is why do we focus on Google when everybody else is doing social media? On my website, probably about 2% of sales come from Instagram or Facebook. And, I have someone there dedicated to do that. And so what we're going to be looking at is why is the conversion rate in Google 3.2%? So for every 100 people that come in, 3 people buy, whereas on social media, it's 1. It's a big difference. So we're going to understand why that happens and how are we going to actually get the best out of Google? Through, again, looking at the best ways to see how is your website performing and how do you actually change your website for it to perform better. Now, in order to understand then when they come in, why do we need a good website? I mean, I've gone through hundreds of Florist websites and I just say, how do people sell on these websites? Because it's interesting. And why do we need to have a good website backed up with not saying, well, this page is pretty, this is going to be fine. No. What does your data tell you? And how is the user navigating across your website to get to the sale? Maybe you have a web page that is actually attracting a lot of traffic, but all it is, and you didn't know about it, and all it is text. Well, what is happening there? What do we have to look at and how do we need to change it? I've got plenty of web pages like this that I've looked at and I've said, oh my gosh, 40% of the traffic that they get is on this. And what happens is on analytics, I see that they come in and they leave. It's called a bounce rate. And why does that happen? Well, all of a sudden you think, I need to change this. So we're going to look at how to really, really look into your website and create a good website so that all the traffic that comes through the website actually gets to the way you want to, which is the actual sale. We all want to sell on the website. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, then we're going to go Florist. Why do we need to go Florist? Well, because we're a very, very unique sector. We all know that. Full of unique people and unique customers. But especially online, there's so much competition. I mean, we literally just look at ourselves like this and we say, okay, well, people are arriving at my website. Where's the competition? What are the people doing? And why am I putting maybe the same arrangements that other websites have? And what makes me unique? Now, what we're going to do there is why we need to do that is because we need to really say, well, I am different from, I don't know, let's say Bloom and Wild. I am different from different other companies that are out there and really, really see how to create a good Florist DNA with actually Daniel Santamaria. He's going to explain how to create your own Florist DNA and your own, how to be, should we say, unique in that concept and unique and stand out, and how to do good pictures and that really, really will say, buy me, basically. Because that's in the end what really, really, in 99% of the cases, how people just say, well, I can get this somewhere else. I've seen this somewhere else. How is this different from this or that? And that's really, really important. For example, I remember when we changed one of our products, it looked a bit like very, very similar, very, very different. And we changed the photo and the same composition and everything. And we actually sold 300% more in the next few weeks of that product because it was a lot more special and unique. We just photographed it in a different way. But it really shows you, by being different, having good photos and saying, I am not the rest, how that really helps. We're also going to see how to test on your website. For example, going back to the same, well, to another point that I did, I had a really good photo of coral charms, of peony coral charms, but they were huge and they were really open. And I thought, wait a second, I've got one that's very similar as a centerpiece in the basket. I changed the photo to closed coral charms that looked a lot, it was a lot brighter. As you know, coral charms, they become whiter once they're open. And in Spain, we get ours 48 hours after leaving the UK, sorry, the Netherlands. So they, they don't come as small as they come over in the UK. I changed that, and I'm not kidding. That picture sold 700% more within the change to the week, just on those small things. So we're going to really look at how do you make changes, and just to get out of your comfort zone, test. You need to test to be able to really, really go there. Now, what we're going to do is also one of the most important parts in the website that everybody hates to look at is the checkout. And I love checkouts. It's I'm obsessed with checkouts. And I think that people don't give it so much importance. And I've spoken to a lot of UK florists that have similar platforms. And just imagine if you're going through your checkout and you have 10 people that come into your website to check out, but 8 of them leave. I mean, if you have, 8 people leaving, that's 8 sales that you've lost because it's difficult to go through your checkout. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through 3 or 4 really, 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 really good checkouts to understand why it's so important to change your checkout, make it simple, and just make it flow. And from there, that's where we're going to really, really see in how to create a checkout and how to create the analytics as well in your checkout to see where people fall, so that you can then say, oh, I need to change this. I don't want more people falling here, there. And so we'll just go over that, over the process of how in floral websites, what's the best way to do that checkout and that sale? And what's the best way to analyze it so that people don't drop out, which is the most important thing, so you can actually make it better. So that's the second, well, one of the last points we're going to be looking at. So you really understand how to sell more and better. Then finally, one of the most important things after you sell is you want to keep your customer. Now, there was a great workshop actually at Florist, if you all went, that I know he's here, but it's not because he's here, but Brian gave. And it was a really, really good way of how to keep the client happy. Well, this is the same thing. How do we actually get the sale, keep the client happy, and then get them onto our database to actually use one of the most important sales channels, which people don't understand enough, I think, it's email marketing. Email marketing, let's just give the example of why it's so important. Let's say you have 1,000 followers on Instagram and you have 1,000 emails on your emailing system. I use MailChimp and it's fantastic. Well, the average is that every post you put on Instagram, you get maybe 10% of people who see the post. That's 100 people. And that actually click on your, to click through, that's another 1%. So you have 1 person or 2 clicking onto your website from that post. Email, depending on, it really depends. I'll give you the tricks on email marketing on how to create better open rates, but I have a 60% open rate. So if I have 1,000 people, 600 are going to open my email, and I have about 100 people that then click onto my website. So I prefer to invest and really, really create a good database than focusing on social media. And it's people who have already bought from me, who have signed up. They've given you the access to their email box, which is 10 times more important than being a follower on social media. So all of these things really is how to look out and how to create a better website. And finally, Maria, she's the head of global e-commerce for a huge company, for Loewe Beauty. And she's gone from creating a website, maybe has 50,000 sales a year, they now are doing, I think they're going to finish the year with 1.7 million on their website within 4 years. And she's just made it grow exponentially. It does help that she has a big budget, but apart from that, that's not the point. The point is we're going to look at, she's going to teach us what she does every morning, what data points does she look at, and translate them to you to say, okay, this is working, this isn't working. How do I do this and how do I do that? To then analyze your website quickly without really having to go into, because you just don't have the time, and then make it better make the website better and grow, and see where you need to get the developer to change the website. So that's really, it's all of these points that do work, and we're going to teach you how to make them work so that you don't lose your time listening to one person, another person sing an ad, whatever, because this is, floristry is actually very, very sui generis, as we said, and it doesn't work like Amazon. It doesn't work like any other website. It's it's a gift, and you have to send the gift. You have to do so many different things that we need to, people outside the industry, when they come and look at the website, and I have people doing a lot of inquiries, say, well, why didn't you do this? I was like, well, this has to be sent. Oh, right. But they just don't understand how it all works. Whereas here we do understand how it works, and we're really going to make it work for you. And at the end of the day, what we're going to do as well is I'll give you all the Excel sheets, all the keywords, how to look at your metas, your titles, all the good stuff that you can get back home and just do everything yourself. And what we'll do as well, I will give you just a one-pager on each assistant that comes without looking at analytics to say, okay, this is what I've seen on your website, possibilities for change. And then afterwards, as part of all this, we will actually do a one-on-one a few weeks later to really go into the website and have a good look at it, which I think is super important. So it's not just a general course, but part of the price that you're paying as well is I will then go and then have a 1-hour session with each person so that you can really get the most out of your website as well and individualize it as well, which I think is probably the most important part. So it doesn't stop in now where it's going to be. It's going to be in Heathrow from the 27th to 9th of January. So it doesn't just stop there. We do have a relationship afterwards where we'll look at your website and really, really say, well, Mike, I want to do this, or I want to do that. What do you think? And we can just have a coffee chat over that. And I think that's super important so you can get the most out of it. So that's basically it. I don't really boring you even more. It's 15 minutes, so that's it. So
it sounds great, because you do, like you say, you do end up going on quite a few courses, and it's all very specific to social media or analytics, or it would be nice to know that you're going through the whole journey so you can see how each bit performs with each other.
And as a florist as well, with Danny, they being there as well, it really, you get the creativity part, and you get the florist part, which is me as well, working in a flower shop every day and seeing how it all works. And it's not just the website that works, but it also has to work behind as well. Get the orders out. What's the best way? We'll go over that. Maybe during dinner or drinks afterwards. I think it's 2 nights. And so there you can really, really also discuss with others, or we can discuss together things that work, haven't worked, and create a really good group to really get common problems and find common solutions too. Not just on the website, but also, well, I do this, or learn from people.
And so, Mike, can I ask it? When people ask me to look for something on analytics, it's hugely confusing. I don't really know what specific things I'm meant to be looking at. You will teach people on the course exactly what they need that's going to give them that good information, because it is a huge subject, isn't it? I know some relay companies that employ 10 people in an office just to look at analytics every day of the year. We can't do that. We don't have the time, do we?
No, so that's why we're going to give you the key. Should we say, we'll give you the keys on how to get through analytics, right? But we're going to set it up. Well, we can't set it up for you, but Maria and I, what we'll do is we will say, these are the most important points. And this is how to get there, and then afterwards you can play around. But what do you need to get to? And, every 3 or 4 days, or every Tuesday. It's really good to have 1 week, you know, space, because then you can see things happening and changing. Well, set yourself a day, set yourself an hour. Say, okay, checklist. Mike's giving me a checklist with Maria. Boom, 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 boom. What do I need to be looking at? Here, here, here. And really give you a checklist on how to get to those points. I think it's super, super interesting. And if we need to make a video of it, we will. You know, if people ask for it, we will. And we'll just give it to the BFA as well. And that way they have it as well as a cheat sheet as well. I mean, we're doing this with the BFA because I've been with Tracy and Brian for yonks. You know, and it's something which I think it's great for you guys and for the BFA to really be the people who have references for this, because there's so many people who talk. I'm really sorry, I'm going to say it out loud. It's my American side. Sorry, it's they just talk so much bullshit. You know, it's just you know, and this isn't. It's really on practice and what we've really, you know.
Yeah, that's great, because I know when I look at Google Analytics, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I sometimes feel like there's 3 or 4 things that are on different lines, but they all look like they mean the same to me. I don't understand.
Yeah, we'll go over the lingo, because it's lingo.
Yeah.
What's bounce rate? What's a landing page? What's an exit page? What's a behavior? What's a channel? What's social? You know, what's direct? What's a reference? And for me, one of the things that I've seen is that analytics has been set up wrong in so many places that when I get hold of it, I'm like, oh shoot, you know. Right, so you know, so it's also getting somebody who can implement the analytics well into your website, and we can go over that because it is technical. It is super technical.
There's lots of different platforms out there, isn't there? And
Yeah.
that's also another thing as well. Like we have 3 different platforms that you've got to get all these analytics from, and it's how to funnel that.
Yeah.
And some platforms have a better way of filtering it than others.
Yeah. The best is Google, because Google, whether we like it or not, has 95% of the search market, and they have a really good application. You know, everybody does it, and I would just suggest don't go to different platforms unless it's social media, which they're, you know, I completely agree with you. But when it comes to your web, just look at analytics, you know, and we will go into that, because I think it's, having seen now quite a lot of customers, because I also do a bit of consultancy on this, it's just badly configured, you know, or they say, we haven't looked at this before, you know, whoa, you know, it's like, right, okay, you know, so we'll go over it. And as you say, you know, what's the best platform? What are the key points you need to look at? You know, Maria is an analytics pro. Every time I go with her, I'm just like, slow down, slow down. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but just slow down and let me just click through to where we need to go to, because you're just going all of a sudden here. So she knows how to do it too. And if it's of interest, you know, we can do a small video for the BFA as well on those key points, you know, which it's something which is coming up now. I don't know if the rest of the attendants also feel the same way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So,
Well,
and where is the, sorry. We both tried talking at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to ask, I've heard of the people using sometimes CRM, customer relationship management. Do you touch on that subject at all, or not really? Is that more for the likes of me rather than a florist business as such? I mean, I don't know.
I think the CRM is the client relationship, as you say, you know, management.
Yeah.
I think that for us florists, unless you're you know, into Flora, or you have a beast of a website that has, I don't know, a database of 200,000 emails.
Right.
Keep it simple. Keep it to your emailing, you know, system. I use, for my CRM is MailChimp. I have it connected to my website. So everything, if we have people buying, it all feeds into MailChimp. So I know who's buying, what they're buying, prices that they're buying, when they bought. And MailChimp has evolved into a CRM as such, Tracy, which is awesome, because you can really
know that. I didn't know that.
If you look into MailChimp, and we will go over MailChimp and go over the report systems they have, you can look at the report system, see where they've opened, how they've opened. You can do tests as well. And then you can go onto your database. And from there, you can see you have a star system, and it says who opens the best emails. You can then segment your list as well by who buys, or you can say, I want to send this email from people who have bought between this date and this date, or who have bought Christmas wreaths last year. So all you have to do is, as long as they put themselves into the system and they give them the okay. I don't know if the UK now with the GDPR, how that's going. Hopefully it's easier than the EU, and I'm an EU enthusiast, but if the Brits could do it the American way, it's 10 times better,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway,
Sure.
for email consent.
But I do have to say that when I first started using MailChimp, I was really frightened of it. I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to learn this. But it's just like anything else, really, isn't it? When you start to just get used to it, do you know what? It's so easy. Really easy.
Yeah,
it's just need you to help to set it up right. Yeah.
I've got a customer in Switzerland, in Geneva, and bless his cotton socks, he's got a 12,000 emailing list, because he puts it one by one, and he has this French, bloody French sort of thing, sorry, I didn't say that, but has a French emailing system. And I just said to him, I said, I'm not going to say who he is, but I said, Charles, I don't understand, why are you putting it one by one? How are you segmenting your list? How are you doing all these things? He's like, well, it's just a system. I was like, MailChimp does all that for you. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, well, we look at it and Mike. So it's a lot better. It's an amazing product, especially for small, and that's what they've really put themselves for, is small and medium enterprises. Then you have other ones which are a bit more complicated but work better. But I think for us, we don't need a big CRM system. If you have MailChimp, you're way ahead of the game, because you can really see everything.
And it'll be nice to be able to take yourself away from the business for 2 days and really focus on this stuff, won't it? So you can really, have a good crack at it and concentrate on it. Because I think sometimes we try and do things in between doing other things, don't we? And then you don't really give it the amount of time it deserves that could actually help you.
Yeah. I mean, even savvy people, I've done things for them, and they're just like, wow, I never knew we could do all this, or I never knew that this was acting like this. I didn't know, so I think it's unplugging to plug yourself in, should we say, into the digital part, but seeing it from a different perspective. We see it from a florist perspective. What we're going to be doing in the course is looking at it as a user perspective, which no one looks at. I mean, I would say 99% of florists as well on their website, they think people come to buy flowers when they don't. They're actually coming to buy occasions. If you go onto the big websites, all you have is occasions, birthday flowers. They're not send flowers, but their website, people come in looking for different things, or they type in, instead of saying flower shop, I don't know, London, actually they might be doing birthday bouquet London, and their website doesn't have a landing page specific for birthday bouquets. So they're not going to come up for Google. That's just one example. We're changing our perspective onto users. There's another florist in the UK the other day told me, Mike, it's amazing. I always thought that the users were going to go for the cheapest options. And on our homepage, we put one luxury bouquet. Said, okay, it's not the most sold, but it's selling a lot more than what we thought they were going to sell for. So it's really understanding the user, where they're going through. I mean, we've got premium flowers on our website as well. It's a small section, but people use it quite a lot. When we're so, then I do have the cheaper bouquets, of course, but it's really also just looking at that and seeing how it all works, and not being afraid to test and really, really put yourself out, rather than thinking, and I'm not saying that we should charge more for flowers. No, I'm just saying it's about understanding the user and where they're going, what they're doing. And that's really what we're going to be looking at, is where is your user going how can you get more out of that user on your website? Small thing. Again, I'm giving my examples. We just redid our website and launched it in September, on the 1st of September. We made it mobile first, which is great because it's 10 times quicker. And we changed one small part of the checkout. We changed where the extras were. On the old website, it said, do you want any extras? And if you said yes, then you had the window that would come down and you could choose champagne, wine, whatever. And this time I said, okay, we're just going to put it on after, do you want a vase with your arrangement? I looked at our chocolates this month in October. Last year, we sold 20 boxes of chocolates. This month, we sold 80, just with that small change on extras, So it's really learning how to really learn what your user is doing and experiment and see how things are done to create a better experience and to get better sales and more sales. So just giving you small things that I've done, and that work as well.
And the venue as well. I don't think we've mentioned where it's going to be. Did you say it was in Heathrow?
Yep, for all those airplane lovers like me, it's going to be in Heathrow. We were going to do it. We're going to keep it in Leicester, but they don't have any availability. So we're going to do it in Heathrow, which is actually easier as well for I think a lot of people. It's Southern Florist, London Florist, those out as well to the west. From the north, it's quite easy to get to too. And it's availability, and actually, it looks pretty good too. I have to say thanks to Brian for putting us in contact for that. But it will be in Heathrow, 3 days. So you can get away if you want to in the evening to go into London if you want to, as long as you're the next day at the course, then that's fine. But yeah, so it's going to be in Heathrow, 27th to the 29th of January. And we need to know numbers by the 13th of January. So that's the last time we can sign on to people there. We will have a special rate as well until the 13th. So, Tracy will send everything out, and don't annoy Tracy with all the questions. You can annoy me, so I will give you my email, my telephone number, Spanish number, so you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram me, you can message me. If it's a UK number, I know it'll be somebody from the course, so that's fine. Just remember it's Christmas season, so if I don't pick up straight away, that's the reason why. But you can, as from after Boxing Day, I am completely and utterly free to answer whenever you want. So
and we will have all the information on the website for you to look at everything and what's going on, but that's going to happen very soon, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, it will. So it's holiday here today in Spain, so I will get that out.
Not tonight.
And tonight. So yeah, I've been hiking this afternoon. So I just got back. Literally, I was like, I need to get back. So I was in the mountains climbing. So yeah, I'll get that. And then whenever Tracy has the time, because God bless you, Tracy, you have to do work for two people basically. So so yeah, that will be there as quickly as possible. So we're only changing Thomas, who can't come, to Danny Santamaria. But the rest is as before. Danny speaks a bit funny, with a bit of an accent, but I'll be there to translate in case anything happens.
No, he doesn't, Mike. No, he doesn't.
I know. He's a good friend, so I'll tell him I told him that. He'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe you said that." But anyway, as you all know him, he's a very good florist. And he's very flexible, and he understands this. And him and I have been working together at the Barcelona Flower School for 4 years. So we really, really understand what you need for this as well. So.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask Mike?
Writing down notes myself.
I will say that I am not going to answer or go into any platforms, web platforms, to use or not to use. People can use whatever platform they want to. And I'm not going to go into that. I think it's unfair on the industry and on the florist itself, because changing or doing or talking about that, it's a very, very personal thing, going into a florist platform. And it's very expensive to change too. Believe me, I know. So, you know, so I'm not going to recommend, I'm not going to do anything on those lines. So if those platforms want to come as well, then that's fine. You know, I think that every platform has its good bits, and you can really take out as much as possible from them as well. So yeah, just word of warning, just so you guys understand that. So
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mike. And I think that's a lot for people to think about. And I'm sure you'll have lots of people wanting to come along.
they should, you know, and if a success, we will have a you know, maximum number as well. 25 is the max, because I think that that's going to be minimum's 15, because otherwise we have to pay everybody, you know. So and maximum's 25. More than 25, I think it's just too much, and you can't individualize everything together, and you can't create a good group together. So you know, just so you all know.
Sure. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Any
if no one's
questions?
got
Quite
any,
quiet. I think there's so much.
yeah, if no one's got any questions. Oh,
Even if
Denise,
just
thank
random
you
ones.
very much.
Denise has said thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Denise. So so yeah, just we'll be at you guys, and hopefully, you know, again, I can answer any questions you have on the course during the next few months. So you don't have to bother Tracy, and Tracy might just send it straight to me. So if you get an answer from me rather than Tracy, that's why. You know, so
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time, everybody, and thanks, Mike. And we'll see you all soon.
See you later.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.